All right, so we did do a couple of point releases for 2304. So we did a 1, 2, and a 3, just to fix some various issues for different people. So the big one was 2403, where we fixed a few issues with the multiple formats on a single bib. So we have found a few different cases, some different data issues that different libraries had, and we wanted to sort those through. So updates to kind of the where is it pop-up and the where is it link for just those different cases where we had multiple formats on one bib. So like if you had the book and reference, dealing with those properly, as well as DVDs and Blu-rays. So a little bit of cleanup from last time. And then 2305. So this has, again, been a lot of little issues. There's not a bunch of fancy new features to demo, but lots of little niggling things that give good quality of life improvements, but aren't super exciting. So we'll just go through a few of those. It's mostly going to be talking this time, not a lot of demo. So some updates. So LIDA cloud library titles were not being linked to properly from within LIDA. So that works now. So for all of you cloud library users, you're able to see those titles now and use your checkouts, which is really cool. We obviously like those things to happen. Some updates for administrators. So for browse categories, we've got some fixes to make it easier for people that only have the ability to administer their library browse categories rather than everything. So we've cleaned up the display, made it easier to understand and easier to work with. So good things for some of our larger consortia that have people doing individual things. And I will get to demo some of the cool stuff that Cody's been working on with events. So in the last release, we added a whole bunch of new functionality for events and added Communico. In this release, we've added the ability to determine if a user is registered or to be able to check registration. So the things that can be registered now, you can see that they're registered. If it's in your events, you can see that it is in your events. So we can say, go to our events for this. And we can see that it's there and that it's an upcoming one. If you haven't registered, you can register. So here we can say, okay, let's go to our, so our We Do robotics. So we're going to say add to our events and register. So we'll click that. And we can now register. So one of the things to notice, the only way we can really determine if somebody is registered is based off their barcode. So if you're not requesting barcode, you will need to say to request that. So if you want to be able to link them. So in this case, we've customized our sign up field and we've said just, hey, if you want to see which events you're registered for, enter your barcode. If they don't, then they don't have to. So we'll go ahead and register there. And then it'll take up to 5 minutes or so for that to show within Aspen. In the meantime, they'll be able to check that they're registered. But here, then we also get a new message saying that we're going to take you to the register page, and that saving to your events is not the same as registering. So lots of those good things to help people understand how to interact with those events better. Couple of other little things that we did there, just like cleaning up so that we're not showing private or canceled events for Communico. And then, yeah, that being able to check that you're registered. So really cool stuff there for events. For Evergreen, again, things that are hard to demo, but user lists can now be imported from Evergreen systems. So if you have that, there's the import from classic or import from previous catalog button in your lists that you can enable per library. Those will now work now. And also importing reading history. So if somebody has a reading history that they've been working with in Evergreen, we want that to be available within Aspen after you go live. And that'll happen as soon as they opt in. So they'll still have to opt in again within Aspen, but then it will automatically show up. And yeah, so after importing, it is stored in Aspen. The reading history is stored in Aspen. And then depending on the ILS, so it would also be stored there, but obviously you wouldn't get things like Hoopla checkouts, overdrive checkouts, that kind of thing that gets stored within Aspen. So the ILS would just store your physical materials. Let's see, some other things. So just, we had some cases where if you were selecting a volume, it was pre-selecting the first one. So we wanted to cut that out and make sure that people knew they had to select one. Just, again, quality of life, make sure people aren't getting the wrong volume or item. And that's assuming it's not pre-selected. So if you've got less than 2 volumes, it'll say like place a hold on the 2020 edition or the 2023 edition, depending on how you have your volume set up. Hoopla, we've also made some changes to how audience is determined. Lots of good single sign-on stuff. So as we continue to learn more and more about everybody's different sign-on, we keep adding new options. So in this case, we have a library that all of their administrators are stored in a system completely separate from the ILS, and therefore we're not doing validation of the ILS. Those users then also obviously can't place holds or check things out. So more work on those specific cases. Themes, we made a couple of little updates based off some of the feedback we've gotten. So the Explore More is not going to be quite so prominent in the background anymore. And we now have the option to customize tab colors. So for like the checkout page and that kind of thing, you can customize your tabs. Yeah, so that's the Aspen updates in an instant.